The day began like any other, yet something in the air felt heavy, almost sacred. The sun rose brightly, but as the village bustled with laughter, market chatter, and pounding pestles, shadows crept unnaturally across the ground. Slowly the golden light dimmed, swallowed by a darkness that spread from the heavens. Mothers hushed their children, sensing the unnatural silence. Birds that usually filled the morning with songs fell quiet, wings tucked as though hiding from a predator. Hunters froze mid-step in the forest, spears raised against an enemy they could not see. The sun, once proud and blazing, was devoured by shadow until the sky bled crimson, bathing huts and trees in a haunting glow. At the great baobab tree, the elders gathered, their faces pale, eyes wide with unspoken fear. "The blood eclipse," one whispered, trembling. Among the crowd stood Oguntade, a boy of tender years yet eyes far older. While others cowered, he stared upward in awe, his heart thudding with a rhythm not his own. Suddenly a warmth pulsed deep in his chest and he stumbled. A voice, soft yet commanding, whispered only to him, "The time has come." His breath caught, but no one else heard. Around him fear thickened the air, but within him stirred something greater, a spark that felt both terrifying and divine. The eclipse lingered unnaturally long, as though the sky itself bent toward prophecy before light slowly returned. The night deepened, yet the air carried the weight of the day's eclipse. Torches flickered around the sacred grove as the village elders gathered in a tight circle, their carved staffs planted firmly into the earth. The flames painted their wrinkled faces in gold and shadow, making them look both wise and haunted. At the center sat Chief Adagoke, draped in a cloak woven with sun and moon patterns, his eyes reflecting both fear and certainty. The silence was thick, broken only by the crackling of firewood and the distant call of night birds. One elder whispered of ancient omens, another of curses long forgotten. Then in a voice that silenced all, the chief declared, "The prophecy has awakened. The child marked by the Sunstone must rise, or darkness will swallow us all." A chill swept through the council, for though none spoke it aloud, every gaze turned toward the hut where young Oguntade lay sleeping, unaware of the destiny that waited to shatter his world. At dawn the eclipse faded, but the village did not return to normal. Chickens refused to crow, goats bleated as if chased by unseen predators, and smoke from the hearths curled strangely backward. Oguntade sat alone by the baobab, his small hands trembling, the memory of glowing symbols still burning in his mind. Children avoided him, whispering his name like a curse. Suddenly a crow, black as night with eyes like embers, landed before him, tilting its head as if it knew his secret. For the first time, Oguntade felt the heavy weight of being chosen. Morning sunlight spilled over the village as Oguntade sat by the riverbank, his small hands tracing shapes in the water. Though only 10, his eyes carried a weight older than his years. From the shadows, his grandmother, Mama Iwa, the revered storyteller of the clan, watched him silently. She finally spoke, her voice low and steady. "The dreams trouble you, don't they?" Oguntade hesitated, then nodded. "I see a stone burning like the sun, and men fighting for it." Mama Iwa's face tightened. She had heard this prophecy whispered long ago, never expecting her grandson to bear it. "You must listen carefully, child," she said, kneeling beside him. "The stone you see is real, and it is both gift and curse." Oguntade's heart raced as the river breeze carried her words. His quiet childhood was ending far sooner than he imagined. Later that afternoon, Oguntade sat beneath the great baobab tree at the edge of the village, tracing patterns in the dust with a stick. His friends laughed and played nearby, yet his heart felt heavier than theirs. The old woman's words from the river echoed in his mind. "Your path is carved by the Sunstone." A chill ran down his spine. Suddenly a hawk swooped low overhead, its wings cutting the air sharply before vanishing into the horizon. Oguntade froze, sensing it wasn't just a bird, it was a sign. The elders often said the hawk carried messages from the unseen. He clenched his fist, whispering to himself, "I must know the truth." Though just a boy, destiny was beginning to stir restlessly within him. The next morning, Oguntade wandered deeper into the forest, following the faint call of the hawk. The tall grasses brushed against his small frame, and the shadows of ancient trees loomed like guardians of a hidden secret. Suddenly, he stumbled upon a strange stone half buried in the soil. Its surface glowed faintly with golden patterns, pulsing as if alive. He reached out with trembling fingers, but before he could touch it, the hawk cried out from above, loud, urgent, almost like a warning. Oguntade froze, his heart pounding, torn between fear and curiosity. The stone seemed to hum in response to his presence, as though it had been waiting for him all along. Behind him, the forest grew eerily silent, every creature holding its breath for what might happen next. Oguntade knelt closer to the glowing stone, his heart pounding in his small chest. The early morning mist curled around him, as if guarding the secret he had uncovered. He reached out, fingertips brushing the surface. The stone felt warm, alive, as though it pulsed with a heartbeat of its own. Suddenly, a faint whisper drifted through the trees, a voice ancient yet soft, calling his name. Oguntade froze, eyes darting around the silent forest, but no one was there. The hawk screeched again from above, louder this time, and the glow of the stone flared brighter, casting eerie shadows across the boy's face. He stumbled back, torn between fleeing to the safety of his village or uncovering what destiny was tugging him toward. The moment Oguntade's fingers graze the glowing stone, the forest seems to shiver. A rush of wind bends the trees, scattering leaves in a sudden swirl. The stone pulses brighter, casting streaks of golden light across his wide eyes. For a heartbeat, everything goes silent. No birds, no rustle, just a stillness heavy with meaning. Suddenly, Oguntade hears a faint whisper, ancient and commanding, calling his name. Oguntade! He gasps, stumbling backward, his chest rising and falling in fear. The hawk from above swoops lower, letting out a piercing cry that echoes like a warning. The boy clutches his chest, trembling, torn between running away and reaching once more for the stone. Destiny is pulling him closer, but danger lurks in the shadows, waiting for him to make the choice. The forest path twisted into silence, the morning sun struggling to pierce through thick fog. Oguntade tightened his grip on the small leather satchel strapped across his shoulder, the one his father insisted he carry everywhere. Each step felt heavier, as if the ground itself warned him to turn back. Suddenly, a crow screeched overhead, shattering the stillness. Oguntade froze. His young heart pounded, eyes darting between the trees. Then he saw it, an enormous claw mark etched deep into a tree trunk, fresh, its sap still dripping. Fear prickled his skin. He whispered, "The prophecy. It's real." For the first time, Oguntade sensed he was not walking alone. Something was watching. The forest grows unnervingly silent. Even the wind seems to stop. Oguntade grips his satchel tighter, his small chest rising and falling with fear. Suddenly, the ground trembles faintly. A low growl echoes through the mist, deep and ancient, vibrating through the trees. His eyes dart around, heart pounding. A shadow looms between the fog, tall and beast-like, its shape unclear but monstrous. The claw marks he saw were only a warning. Leaves scatter as the figure steps forward, glowing red eyes piercing the darkness. Oguntade stumbles back, nearly tripping over roots, breath sharp in his throat. Then, silence again. A whisper, almost human, curls through the air. The prophecy has begun. The screen fades to black.